Look at your hands. What muscles? Muscle treats muscle. So you're going to find the muscle. Most of the time, fibromyalgia, you feel soreness in your pain in your muscles, right? Mostly you got trigger points up here in your shoulders, you got trigger points in your back, you got trigger points in your hip. Today we're going to address those trigger points. It's the magic is in your hands. Look at your hands. What muscles? Muscle treats muscle. So you're going to find the muscles. Look at this big ass muscle in your hand. Muscle right here. And then muscle all in between here, right? So these are going to address the shoulder muscles up here. And then massage these, acupressure these, press really hard on these for your mid-back to lower back. You're going to push both hands. It doesn't matter which hand. Push on these muscles to relieve the muscle tension, the pressure, fibro pain in your shoulders. Well, actually the ears can help you with your fibro pain. So if you're thinking about your shoulders, your hips, we're going to use your ear, okay? Do the Martin Lawrence, do the USA. And so what you're going to do is this part of your ear right here corresponds to your neck and shoulders. This part right here corresponds to your hips and lower back. So for neck and shoulders right here, you're going to pinch this area of your ear, okay? Pinch both sides of your ear and that area, this area of your neck and shoulders. And if you want your hips and your lower back, you want to pinch this area. So pinch this area for your hips and your lower back, and you want to rub it, okay? Rub it as many times as possible. You can do it for 30 seconds. Do it 3 times a day.
For treatment on my anxiety, I've been suffering from kind of a claustrophobic panic attack over the course of about 2 or 3 years, and being confined in a space made me really anxious, really nervous, upset, plane rides especially, and so it's been treating me for those. And I recently took a long plane ride and didn't have any problem, sat next to the window in a pretty small confined spot, and didn't have any problems at all, and enjoyed my trip.
We're going to go over the herb. It's in Chinese, it's called Fuling. And English is called Poria, or even called Indian bread. I didn't realize it was called Indian bread. Actually, when they cut it, it looks like a piece of bread. It's like a white bread. But it's called Poria and Indian bread. And so what are the actions of Poria and Indian bread? It's basically, it has a diuretic function. So if you have water retention, like your legs get swollen, so like teachers and nurses, they get their legs get super swollen, well, you can have it add a diuretic to actually help reduce that swelling, that water retention. It can also be helpful, because it's a diuretic, it can also be helpful for people who have hypertension. So hypertension, there's a drug that they commonly use. It's called HCTZ, which is a diuretic to help decrease the fluid retention in the arteries, which helps decrease the blood pressure. Poria, Indian bread, can also do the same thing. It's also anti-neoplastic, so it can inhibit cancer cell activity. And that we don't use here in the US because the FDA would slap a little label across our clinic and close our clinic down if we were to say anything about that. Next thing is it's a sedative. So Poria or Indian bread can also act as a sedative. It can actually calm your mind and help you promote sleep. Okay. And it's also a mild antibiotic. Okay, it can help with some types of bacterial infection. But these are mild effects for these. It's mostly used as as a diuretic, and it can also promote digestion. Even though I didn't write it here, it can also help promote digestion. But majority of its function is really focused on getting the kidneys. The kidneys, your water organ, which helps with water metabolism. It's mostly focused on getting your kidneys functioning better, restoring function. So remember, in Chinese medicine, at Achieve Integrative Health, we practice the Emperor's Medicine, which is a restorative medicine. We focus on restoring function and not replacing function. So when you take a Chinese herb, you don't necessarily take it singly. It's always combined with like 20, 30 other herbs. But when you take Chinese herbs, the difference between herbs and supplements you get over the counter supplements, they are still there to replace a function in your body. Chinese herbs is not replacing a function in your body, it's actually restoring function. So for a good way to understand this is when you take the supplement or whatever you take, after you stop, let's assume that everything over the counter works, okay? If everything works, you take it and it works. What happens when you stop taking it? Does your body go back? Does your body start failing? Does the function start failing? You know, or does the function of the organ sustain and maintain without whatever you took? That's the key to restorative medicine. Restorative medicine is when you take it, it helps you, and then when you stop taking it, your body continues to do it by itself. Replacement functions, basically you take it and it helps you, you stop taking it, all your symptoms come back, you feel like crap again. So that's a replacing a function in your body. So today, Poria Indian bread, it's very good for diuretics. So people with hypertension, diabetes, nurses, teachers, people that stand a lot, swell up in the ankles a lot, kidney problems. Poria is actually a super great herb, and we actually use it to cook. So a lot of Chinese herbs are food, so we cook them in our food and we make a soup out of it, and that soup, you know, tastes actually pretty good. All right, guys. So that's the food of today, Poria Indian bread. Give it a try. Cook it. Okay, you can cook it maybe in your chicken soup. Okay, put it in your chicken soup. It's very tasty.
Contact us to schedule an initial exam today.